So first of all, here are some facts about bedwetting, which is essentially what we're talking about. We're talking about people who mostly are peeing when they're asleep or in their beds, right? That's what nighttime toilet training is. So 1 of every 4 5-year-olds is a bedwetter. 1 of every 10 6-year-olds, 1 of every 14 7-year-olds. Are you seeing a pattern? So as people get older, it's less likely that they'll wet their bed, right? Bladders grow, bodies mature. 33 10-year-olds, 50 17-year-olds, which I mean, right? That's kind of a lot. 1 of every 100 civilian adults and 1 out of every 150 military recruits. That was a fact Pat shared with me. So just so you know, it's not an uncommon issue. It's anatomical a lot of the time. It's, the brain and the bladder and sleep intervening being a complicated thing. So it's more prevalent among boys than girls. And yeah, I mean, for what it's worth, the purpose of showing you this is if you've got a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old that you're training, you might want to wait on the nighttime training because as their bodies grow, the likelihood that they're going to pee while they're asleep is just going to go down. So we usually caution people to just wait. You don't have to do this. Their body will do it for you in a lot of cases. So don't get excited about needing to do nighttime training for, until it's at a line where for you it's become important, right? So they want to go on sleepovers or they're wetting so much at night that it's really disrupting their sleep, or they're just old enough that they shouldn't be doing it anymore according to your values, then tackle it. So yeah, interestingly, it's a genetic thing, right? So if one parent was a bedwetter, very good chance that the child would be too. Even better chance if both parents were bedwetters. So this is just something that happens. Sometimes hormones play a role, and people with low levels of antidiuretic hormone may be more likely to have like wetness incidents at night. In this case, they might be a good candidate for a desmopressin nasal spray. So the bedwetting is a good thing to chat with your doctor about too. So if you have an older person, getting hormone level testing could be part of what you do to tackle this. People who wet the bed are very heavy sleepers often. Makes sense, right? They're so deep asleep that the signal from their bladder to their brain that they need to pee isn't enough to wake them. Of course, that makes sense. Caffeinated beverages can make bedwetting happen also. If someone is having a lot of caffeine, they may be more likely to bedwet. And again, medical issues are a factor here, right? So before you do nighttime training, we'd certainly suggest, run it by the doctor of the trainee, talk about if this is an issue that you should tackle now and other things you should know about how to tackle it. So if they have a sleep disorder or frequent bladder infections, the doctor might have other advice for you about how to approach this. So it's a great thing to run by your primary care doctor. Okay, the reason we say maybe wait a while if you have a younger kid you're focusing on training is that if you do nighttime training, no matter what, sleep is going to get interrupted. Yours and the trainees. Everyone's going to be awake at night. It'll be like, when you had a newborn baby for a little while, you're going to be up a lot at night. Do you want to do that? You might want to wait until it's a priority, but up to you. I like my sleep. So if the trainee has some sleep-related challenges, you might want to leave nighttime toilet training alone. Like if there's somebody who's just waking up at night, it's a frequent issue with kids with ASD, right? And teens with ASD and adults with ASD. Sleeping can be a challenge. So if they're doing a lot of night waking anyway, there might even be some problem behavior happening at night. You might want to address that first because it's going to intervene in your nighttime toileting stuff. If this is a person who really struggles to get back to sleep after they've been awoken, you might want to leave this aside for a while, right? So yeah, we're not saying you have to do this. We're not saying, okay, once you've achieved daytime training and that's going well, you must immediately start nighttime training. We don't feel that way at all. It's not as much of a social barrier as not being continent in the day is. Can you see how that would be? It's not something that, your friends at school aren't really going to know that you wear an overnight, like those good nights pull-ups or something. They're not going to know. It's also definitely not the case that the person needs to be trained at night in order to be fully trained during the day. These things are completely separate. They're awake for one, they're asleep for the other. So again, you don't have to tackle this. I hope I haven't talked you out of it because you can do this. This is luckily something we kind of have a magic device for you that is going to do a lot of the work for you, which is pretty cool. So I have for you today I should say first, choose a time period when you, the parents, so I'm talking to parents as our audience here, they're usually the ones who do nighttime training. You're often alone because, you know, people who work with your learner might not be in your home in the middle of the night, but perhaps they are. You need to have the emotional and physical resources to commit to this process. Again, you're going to be awake a lot in the night. So you must have, to do nighttime training, a bedwetting alarm. The research now shows us this is the way to do it. This is what works. So I have for you today a Chummy alarm, which I'll show you. So Chummy does not give Pat or I any money, but we like their products. So there are a lot of bedwetting alarms, tools, accoutrements on the market. This one is the best. Sorry, again, maybe they should give us some money. I promote them a lot, but yeah, Chummy they just work the best. And specifically, this one called the Premium is really good. So if you go to Chummy, I think this link will come up for you there, yeah. ChummyBedwettingalarm.com is where you can get this. They ship worldwide. It's about $100, you know, a little investment. And what you're seeing on your screen there, this one I'm showing you is the one that's wearable. So, hope you can see that. Excuse me, I'm just going to lean over. This is what the box looks like. This is what the alarm within looks like. And it also comes with this little pack of tape. And you tape this part, which is the sensor, into the trainee's underwear exactly where you think the pee is going to hit. So see how it's an okay size. It's pretty easy to find the general location where the pee will land. Sometimes it's a little trial and error. And it's when the pee hits this alarm or hits the sensor pad, it beeps quite loudly. The idea being it's going to wake the person up, and it'll usually stop their pee and allow them to get to the toilet to finish. So I'll explain a little bit more, but I want you to know what it sounds like. So here's a live demo with water standing in as pee. So it's ready to go. I'm going to pour a tiny bit of water, not anywhere near the computer. Hear that? Sorry to Kevin, our sound guy's probably like, what is going on? Hope I didn't blow anyone's eardrums. So it's pretty loud. I don't know if it picked up for you, but it would wake you up. If you're in a silent bedroom and this thing, and we do recommend too, so this is in their underwear, the sensor. This piece you would clip up near their ears where they're going to hear it. It's going to wake them up. It also vibrates. You could set it to just vibrate. You could set it to just ring. You could set it to vibrate and ring. It's a flexible little device. So pretty cool. I mean, it does a lot of the work for you. The other image that you're seeing, which I don't have one to show you today, but it's the same little receiver, the part that beeps, but it's connected to a big pad you put on their bed. So for a lot of trainees, that's going to be better. I would say it's you know, oh, you can't see my arms, can you? It's like 3 feet by 2 feet. It's going to cover a big portion of their bed, and the same deal, it's got the same material as this little guy. So as soon as a drop of pee hits it, beep, 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 wakes them up. And it allows the trainee to, you know, react and stop peeing typically. So yeah, there's the bed pad option or the wearable option. Kind of think about what would work. So there's some advantages to the wearable. It's quicker. So you can tape that little sensor, again, it goes just on the outside of their underwear. So a drop of pee hits the underwear, and then it hits the pad right away, and it starts going beep, 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 so it's fast. The pad, the pee has to leak down through the pajamas, leak onto the pad, through the sheet onto the pad, and then beep, so it's not quite as immediate. But a lot of trainees aren't going to like wearing that thing, aren't going to like wearing the wearable one. So as you can see, right, it's got a wire. This has to clip onto their shirt. This has to go into their underwear. So if you've got somebody with sensory issues that they're going to be bothered by that, don't do this one. Don't do the wearable, do the bed pad. It's okay that it's going to take a few more seconds for the alarm to sound. Okay. So I'll talk a little bit about how you do this though, when to do it, how to execute it. So before you start with this alarm, you're going to make sure that the trainee pees right before going to bed. Common sense, you know, obvious sort of how to stop bedwetting, get a good pee before bed. So when we're talking about initiation training and trip training and that sort of thing, this is sort of, if the trainee is at a point where they're initiating completely, you could still remind them to pee before bed. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people kind of overdo that. No, I can't ever. I'm really trying to get this initiation thing solid. I'm never going to tell them to pee. When you have a newly toilet trained person they've got it, but you know, they recently got it, it's still totally okay to say, hey, part of your bedtime routine is you go pee. Go for it. If you're leaving the house, you could tell them you go pee, right? It's okay. It's normal. It's something that you would do with any newly toilet trained person. So make sure they pee right before going to bed. Get your extra pajamas and sheets ready for quick changes at night. This isn't something you often think about before they actually go to bed, but trying to find the sheets that fit that mattress in your linen closet, if it's like mine, in the middle of the night, no. Like, they should be ready in a stack. You know where they are, because you're going to be woken up in the middle of the night. Okay, what am I doing here? Like, the sheets need to be right there. Make it easy for your future self by setting them out before you go to bed too, right? This is a piece of Pat brilliance for you. She says, this is so good. You kind of want to make a layered burrito of the bed. You want to double sheet the bed with a plastic protector between the two sheets. So you're not putting a new fitted sheet on the bed in the middle of the night. You've got a fitted sheet. You've got a plastic protector. You've got another fitted sheet over it. So when that top fitted sheet gets wet, you whip that thing off and the trainee can still go back to bed on top of that. Do you know what I'm saying? So you're not trying to wrestle a fitted sheet onto that thing again in the middle of the night. We're trying to help you out here. We don't want this to be so hard in the middle of the night, right? If you're using the bed pad version of the Chummy Alarm, not the wearable one that I showed you, you'd place that under the top sheet, not under the plastic protector, right? Or the pee won't touch it. It won't awake the trainee. So another common sense thing, stop all liquids at least 2 hours before bedtime. We don't want them to pee at night. We're not trying to set them up to do that. That's not part of this process. It's not like rapid toilet training during the day where we're trying to load the person up with liquids so that they will pee more. In this, we're going to try to make it easier by preventing them from peeing. That's the goal. You don't put on diapers or pull-ups or plastic pants at bedtime. If you're using the wearable Chummy Alarm, they would need to have underwear on because pajamas might not put the sensor in the right position. They need underwear and you'd tape to that. If you're curious, by the way, about how to do the taping part, the little manual that comes with your Chummy will show you very clearly where to put it on the underwear, how to do it. So yeah, underwear might be needed, but otherwise, no, you're not trying to do anything to prevent pee from leaking onto the bed. That's what the plastic sheet protector is for, to protect the mattress. And then also, our old friend reinforcers are back. You're going to choose one or more highly preferred items, same as we've been discussing repeatedly. And again, we know you got the point. Everyone gets those Mentimeter questions. Perfect. You guys get reinforcement. You would set that aside as an incentive, a special kind of reward for having a dry bed in the morning. Still thinking outside of the box. Let the person know that if the bed's dry in the morning, they'll earn this reward. So this assumes that the trainee has what we would call rule-governed behavior. You can tell them something's going to happen and they have some understanding that that will happen later. It's not the case for all the trainees that we work with, or even a majority of them. But for some trainees, it's something, a little extra incentive that might help, and it's not going to hurt to tell them something cool is coming in the morning. So if it's not a big piece for your trainee, no big deal. Do it anyway. It's not going to hurt. So say you're going to stay dry tonight. You're going to do your best. When you're dry in the morning, you're going to get something really cool. By the way, this reminds me, Just a final, we promise we'll stop harping on about reinforcers, but we're thrilled that you get it. We were chatting in the room here at lunch about out-of-the-box reinforcers, and one really cool thing about ACT is that many of the autism community training staff have a connection to autism in their family, and they really know what it's like for all of you who have people with autism in your family, and they've been in your shoes, which is really cool. So they have awesome stories to share. And one of the ACT staff was just telling us that for her son, when they did toilet training, they created an elevator in their home. So they don't have an elevator. They don't live in a condo. They don't live in a mansion. But they made an elevator out of a cardboard box. They assembled plastic buttons, and after he would have a P success in his training, he would get to get in this box elevator, and they'd shake it and play elevator sounds from their phones, and he just loved it, and he was toilet trained in 2 days. So it's so cool to hear that story. Another fabulous example for you. We will stop harping on about reinforcers. So that was daytime training, but I just wanted to throw that in. So yeah, you need something cool for nighttime training too. You need something cool, something special. That's something they could get in the morning. It's not going to hurt, even if it's a little too delayed, like the person's not fully maybe getting why they're getting it. It's okay. Celebrate everything you can, right?